everybody? It is Mickey Talks. I am Mickey Coachella, along with my co-host Matt Davis, who will be joining the show in a little bit. But you see somebody next to me here. Today is kicks off National Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. This gentleman to the right of me is named Owen, and Owen has been in my life since he was 4 years old. When I first met Owen, we didn't even know that Owen had autism, and we didn't know anything about that. I just thought he was a fun kid, and I've been friends with him ever since. He has been in my life for now, how many years is that? 13 and a half years that I have known her. No, is that the right math? No, I'm sorry, I can't add. How long is that? 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 years, basically, that Owen has been around. So I would like to introduce everyone to Owen. Owen, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm very pleased to meet you all.
Owen, it is so great to have you on my show. First thing I want to talk to you about is this. You are one of, if not the most sincere people I have ever met. You are the nicest human being I know.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Mickey, you know what? I don't want to do this show.
You don't want to do it?
April Fools! It was just a joke. Don't worry. Of course I want to do this show.
Best joke I've heard in ever on
That is
April Fool's Day.
I swear to you, if you guys understood, Owen, that was the last thing I would ever expect. Dude, that was the coolest thing ever. Owen, listen, I love talking to you. You are one of, and I've said this a bunch, my favorite people. And you have had such an interesting journey and story that I've been privileged to be a part of. When I first met you, you were a little guy. You were only 4 years old. And then over the years, I've watched you become this amazing young man. But you have obviously some differences to other people. So what I would like you to do, Owen, right off the bat, you talk right into that camera and talk to people and just basically tell them, what do you like to do day to day? What is your favorite thing about any day?
My favorite thing about any day is hanging with my family and friends, and even you, Mr. Mickey.
Thank you, buddy. You go to school now,
Yep.
and what grade are you in?
I am in 9th grade now.
You are in 9th grade now, and where do you go to school?
I go to school at Harbor.
At Harbor School, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a school that most, if not all of the children there have autism, or they are unique people that need different kinds of schooling. Is that right?
Exactly.
Now, you first went to school, like me, to a Catholic school, correct?
Correct.
And do you remember the name of that school?
When I used to go to school, the first school I ever went to was St. Stephen's.
That's right. And then do you remember the next school?
And then Kingsville.
Okay. And then where?
White Oak.
Okay. Do you remember then where?
Kennedy Krieger.
Great. And then where?
I'm at Harbor now.
So that has been your journey scholastically, right? Where you went to school.
Yep, and Harbor School is the last school I am, and I'm there to stay.
You're there to stay, huh?
Yep.
So when you first, let me ask you a unique question. You and I have talked. You know you have autism, correct?
Yes, I definitely know I have autism.
And can you explain what autism is to the audience?
Autism is just how people are sometimes.
So what makes for you, you have autism. What makes you different than, say, me? What is it different about you because you have autism and I don't? What is a big difference?
Well, I have autism because sometimes I don't like loud noises. I have sensitive body.
Okay, so let's slow down here. So you're telling me things that are different about you. You said you have autism and you don't like loud noises, right?
Yeah, sometimes I don't.
And
sometimes I'm okay with that.
And you have learned, I remember when you were little, you had no patience for loud noises, no music in the car. Do you remember that?
I definitely remember that.
But now you like music.
I sure do.
And what do you think it was that made you realize that music was okay? Well, let me ask you a different question. Why didn't you like music at first? Do you know?
I don't know. It was a bit annoying or something.
In the car. You like music at home, right?
Yeah.
But when you're driving, it bothered you.
Yeah, but not anymore. It doesn't.
That's amazing. And say some other things that like makes you just different and unique. Like you like sometimes for somebody to hug you, right?
Yeah, because I like getting a lot of love.
Because you like getting a lot of love.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people I love.
Now let me ask you this: when you talk about anything, I will tell you that this is the way I started the show. You're the most genuine person I've ever met, Owen. You love everyone that you meet genuinely.
I sure do.
What do you like most about people?
About how nice they are.
And people are nice to you.
Caring.
Yeah.
And they appreciate my kindness.
And you are very kind.
Yep, I sure am.
One of my favorite things about you is you last year online on Facebook, on your mom's page, you started doing holiday reports.
I sure did.
You love holidays, don't you?
I love holidays.
Now, each holiday has its. Do you know all the holidays in order, or if
Yes, I do.
So if we start in January, do you know what the first big holiday in January is?
Yep.
What is it?
It's New Year's Eve.
Technically, I'm going to give it to you. That's right, buddy. New Year's. And what does that mean? We start what?
A brand new year of two. Let's say if it was 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was New Year's Eve. Which means the year at midnight it would change. It would be 2025.
Very good. Now, when you think about holidays, you like to do reports on holidays, what they mean. So I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. Can you remember what Easter is?
Easter is a holiday when the Easter Bunny comes to my house.
And what do you get?
I get candy and stuff.
And do you know what Easter is?
It's something about Jesus.
Yes, very true. And when you did your report last year, the thing I loved is you always would say, we just got finished this holiday. Coming up next, and you would sell the future holiday, but now we're going to celebrate this holiday.
Exactly.
And what's your favorite part about holidays?
I have fun things to do during it.
What's your favorite holiday?
I have three. If I had to choose three of my top favorites,
That sounds great.
I would choose Easter, Halloween, and Christmas.
Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. I know one thing. I've seen about 10 of your Halloween outfits, and they're awesome.
Yep.
You love dressing up.
Yeah. And next year for Halloween, I want to be a chef.
Now, you've talked about wanting to be a chef, like a real chef.
Yep.
And you're going to be one for Halloween this year.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about some things when you get around your friends at school. Each of you have individual things that make you unique, right? Like one person doesn't like loud noises, say. One person doesn't like to be touched at your school. One person doesn't like other things. But you've all learned to kind of work together and respect each other, correct?
Correct.
And you've been able to do that with other people that don't go to your school, right?
Yep, that's right.
Who's your favorite person?
I don't have a favorite person. There's multiple people I like.
That's the reason I asked you that question. You love everybody.
I sure do, and you know that.
Now, one thing I want to tell people, what color shirt are you wearing?
I am wearing blue.
And 99% of the days you go out of the house, what color shirt do you wear?
Blue.
Now, can you explain to people why you always want to wear a blue shirt?
Because blue is my favorite color.
So to you, it makes sense to just put a blue shirt on every day and go about your day.
Yep.
And it makes perfect sense to you, doesn't it?
Yep.
I got to be honest. Makes perfect sense to me, too, Owen. I wish I could wake up every day, put a shirt on, and not have to think about it. I think that's really an interesting thing.
Yep.
Now, are there other things that you like to be consistent? Like you need things to go a certain way every day, right?
Yeah, usually sometimes.
What are some things that you like to know they're going to happen a certain way?
Mm, uh, some things like sometimes I just sometimes when things are open, I just get up and close them.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, like around your house, like if there's a drawer open, you need that closed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Or if one of the cabinet doors is open, you just need that closed.
Yes.
So, when you were younger, you used to say, "I close that," but now you actually do it.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've noticed along the way that you really worked on is when someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, yet you do it anyway. You learn to do things that you don't want to do, right?
That's right.
And you like to use the word flexible. You've become flexible.
Yep.
And do you find that being flexible makes your life easier?
Yep.
All right. So what I'm trying to do, Owen, so you know this, I mean, autism is an amazing thing, and people are learning about it very fast, okay? And when people meet someone like you, sometimes they because they don't know you, they don't understand things right away, correct?
Correct.
And you've done an amazing job, I think, at getting people to understand what it is.
That's true.
Do you like talking about it?
I sure do.
So what do you, if you could tell somebody why having autism is good, why would you say having autism is a good thing?
It makes me feel unique, and to get people to know who I am.
Do you know that sometimes you are unique and different than other people?
Yep.
And you like things to be your way, right?
Sometimes I do.
And when you think something is good or bad, you like to say that.
Yep.
You know, Owen, the thing about this conversation that I want people to understand is that when you were much younger, there were times where you had difficulties, and you know that, right?
Yes, I do know that.
And you would get upset about things, or you would have real issues where you would get very mad, and you would get upset and yell, and you would hit things, and you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm a grown man now.
You are. Stand up, Owen. I want to show everybody something. Just stand up, right, like this. Yeah. Just to give everybody an idea. Come closer to me, buddy. This is my buddy Owen, and he is huge compared to me. But you're the sweetest guy I know, man.
That's how I like to be.
What are some activities you love to do?
Well, there are a bunch of activities I like to do. Like, if I had to choose my top 7 favorite places, it would have to be the driving range, Skateland, Dave and Buster's, Wonderfly, the bowling alley, Sky Zone, and the batting cage.
Now, I did not count, but I can almost bet $10 million that was 7 things.
That's some fun stuff.
Matt, well, hey, come on in, Matt. You know, you met Owen just recently.
Yeah, I've got a question for Owen, if you don't mind. Can I ask you a question, Owen?
Of course, Matt. I love questions.
Now, I know you mentioned that you now love music. Do you have a favorite artist or band or style of music that's your favorite?
Well, not really, but there are a lot of songs I like.
Tell us some songs you like.
I like Pennies from Heaven.
Dude, the old school Pennies from Heaven.
Nice.
Is that Louis Prima? I think it's Louis Prima. Yeah, he loves it. What's your favorite line in that song? Do you remember it?
Shooby-dooby.
He yells it every time it comes on. It hits that part, and he's all over it, man.
Shooby-dooby.
I used to dance to it when I first heard it at my friend Carlin's birthday.
Yeah, and your friend Carlin, that's a good way to put it. That's my son, if anyone is wondering. And I saw Carlin today, and he was very happy that you were going to be on my show today, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, and, you know, I've watched you over the years, and when I first was around you, I'm going to say something. You might not understand what I'm saying, but let me try to complete it. When I first met you, you had You weren't very coordinated. You weren't like very athletic, and you didn't even have interest really in sports. And you have become like a really good bowler. When you were little, I used to watch you. You could walk across the back of your couch like it was a tightrope. Do you remember doing that stuff?
Yep, I do remember that.
And you are the greatest. What is that thing called you have with the two wheels that you stand on and it just moves? What is that thing called?
It's a
The hover thing or whatever.
hover. Yeah, it's a hoverboard.
Yeah.
A hoverboard, right.
Yeah.
He does it. I've never seen anything like it in a house, into bedrooms, and does donuts. Matt, I'm not kidding. It's like he misses door jams. Like I'm within an inch, and he does. It's just like, whoa, whoa, and he goes in a door, does a U-turn, never stops.
Way
right
too
back out.
scared to get on that thing, man.
I'm watching him do this, and I'm like, I can't get off this bed without risking a fall.
Right.
And he's just amazing at it.
And you're skydiving now, right?
Well, you went to that place.
I fly.
I do want to skydive soon, but after I was really good at hoverboarding, my mom thought I should try stilts. And when I first tried them, I was a natural at them.
What, stilts?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, he put
and moving
stilts.
and going back and forth from the living room to my bedroom, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
No fear, huh?
No fear at all.
None. And I'm telling
Wow.
you, Matt, I sound like I'm exaggerating, but if you sat there in the living room and watched a kid go from his living room down a hallway, bank an 80-degree turn into a bedroom, do a U-turn in it and come back out and make that hallway turn and never stop or slow down, I used to sit there and think that this is some next level stuff.
You would have to take me to the hospital if I attempted that.
I couldn't get in the bedroom,
Yeah.
could I, Owen?
Yeah, you couldn't.
Oh, and another thing I want to talk to you about is your love of things. You love magic,
I do love magic.
and you like doing magic tricks.
Yep, I put on magic shows for my whole family during our family vacation,
Yeah,
and my cousins get to help me with that.
I've seen videos where there's got to be 75 people out on the deck, and they're all in a circle or a semicircle, and it's like an audience, and he comes out, and he has a whole show, Matt. It's
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
I love magic. Do you have a favorite magician that you like?
Not really. I don't know many magicians, but I just watch TV shows that have magicians on it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite trick that you do?
Oh, well, I like the grand finale when I make my cousins disappear.
You make all your cousins disappear?
Yeah, you remember that?
I on the video. You made them all disappear behind the curtain, right?
Exactly. They were behind the stairs when I did that.
And have you found like learning things that like I don't know the right word. And for those of you watching, I don't I'm not schooled in how to talk this way. I'm just having the way I normally talk to Owen. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you think that like I notice you don't like sometimes cutting your nails, right?
That's true.
But you've gotten really good at it and you've learned to do it.
Yep.
What is it about when you cut your nails? What is it that you don't like?
I'm always worried I might hurt myself.
And have you ever hurt yourself?
Not really.
And you're a pretty good nail cutter now, aren't you?
Yep.
It's amazing how these little things. And when you go to get your hair cut.
Yep.
Now, do you want to tell us what happens when you get your hair cut?
Well, I've been mature at my haircut before, but this time when I got my hair cut, which was was last Friday, the day before the family reunion I had with the Carmens, I was really, really mature that time because I did it all by myself, and I even remembered everything Mom told me to do.
Like what?
Like how much I have to give for the tip.
And you now go and this is amazing. And this is the thing I want to explain to people. When I first met, or for a long time with Owen, it's hard for any parent. I'm not the parent, obviously, but was around the parents. It's hard to just let that child go like a normal child, say, and they're going to walk up the street and grab an ice cream or something. what this child has done is absolutely amazing. And you can go pay for things now.
Yep.
And you didn't even like doing anything for a long time, right? You wanted everybody to kind of like you weren't comfortable doing things on your own, but now you are.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do by yourself?
Going going out to overnight trips with my friends,
With your friends?
which is what I'm gonna be doing eventually.
That's right. Tell me
Without
about.
my parents, you know.
Have you ever done that before?
Yep.
You've gone. Where did you go?
So far, we've only been going to Camp Putok, which was a campground, but this time we're gonna go to a hotel, you know.
Schools. You're going to go.
Which is a little bit far away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and my parents won't be there with me, and that's very mature.
Wow, that's incredible, Owen. It really is. And now, when's your next birthday?
It's in April 22nd.
And how old are you going to be?
I'm gonna be 16 years old.
So what does that mean?
I'm gonna start learning how to drive a car.
And
Wow.
and how long do you think it will take you to learn how to drive a car? You think?
It might take me a few days or something.
A few
or
days?
even longer than that.
That's quicker than I did it, buddy. You do. I will say this: when you learn something, Matt, when he learns something, it's like virtuoso level. It's really hard to explain unless you witness it. To be very blunt, there are certain things you would never, he can't. You not can't, but you don't expect it. And then he decides he's going to do something, and he learns about it, and you watch him, and you go, I can't.
That's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought we should invite him back to do a magic trick for us
Do you want
at some point.
You know what we're going to do, Owen, and I would love this. One day, we're going to do our show in front of an audience. And
That's a great idea.
When we do that, when we do our show in front of an audience, would you come and put on a magic show for everybody?
I would love that.
You would?
And you know what else?
What?
I will also invite all of my cousins from the Carmens so they can be a part of it too.
That would be
so they can help me.
Yes, they can. And you can make, you know what you could do? You
What
could
can I
pick
do?
out people in the audience to come on stage, and then you can make them disappear.
Sounds like a plan, but I would want my cousins to be a part of the magic show because I know how much they like my magic and it makes them laugh. And they're really good at my card tricks too, you know?
Yeah, you are a good card trick guy.
Yeah, I have 13 of my cousins who I would invite, who are Dresden, Cooper, Charlie, Kyler, Casey, Summer, Keegan, Alex, Pete, Alyssa, Olivia, Emily, and Lawson.
That's 13 all day long.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if you said, I'm going to name 13 people, could you do it like that?
There's
and
no way I
stop-
can name my 3 cousins right now.
Three cousins.
Yeah.
So, Owen, do you understand what kind of show this is? Like what we're doing?
Yes, I do understand.
And you know that people are watching us right now and they're going to watch us later and they can watch it for a long time?
Yep.
Pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty neat.
And if you, right now, can look right there and you want to say anything to the world, what would you like to say to everybody? If you could talk to everybody at one time and you had an important message for them, what would it be?
I hope all of you have the best time.
It's amazing, buddy. It's simple, isn't it? Just have fun, right?
That's right. And I want people to have fun.
You do, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Your favorite thing in the world is making people happy.
Yep, I like making everyone happy.
I know you do, man. I tell you this, you make me happier than just about anybody in my life.
And when people tell me thank you for doing something that made me happy, I don't just say you're welcome. I say you are very welcome.
And you mean every word of that.
Yep,
Oh, and you're just the coolest kid, man.
I know.
And let me ask you something. Do you think when you are older, a little bit older, say in your 20s, when you think about that, do you think about things that will be different in your life then? Like what would be different, say, in 5 years? Can you think about that?
I would be I'd be an adult.
And what would you do when you're an adult?
I would get a house of my own.
You're going to get a house, and how do you need a job, right?
Yep.
And what do you want to do? Do you know yet? Do you know what your job is? Want to be?
Oh, I'd want to be a carpet guy when I grow up.
A carpet guy, right?
Because my grandpa is a carpet guy, and I told him that could be my job, and then he has taught me a lot of things.
He really has. And I'll tell you, he's a wonderful person, isn't he?
Yep,
He's
he
a
is
good
wonderful
man.
person.
And he taught you how to put carpet down?
Yep. He taught me how to cut carpet and pull up tack strip. He even taught me how to cut wood with a chop saw.
Wow, buddy. That's incredible. It really is. And
using a staple gun.
And you like doing all that stuff, don't you?
Yep.
And you like working.
Yes.
Now, was there a day at school where you're going to what is that called when you stay after school and you go to different places? Am I messing that up? What is it called?
It's called Outdoor Club.
And what do you do in Outdoor Club?
Well, sometimes we just do outdoor stuff, and sometimes we go on field trips.
So that's okay. Now I got it. So you can do all of that in one.
Yep.
And now, do you have a job at school?
My job at school in the morning is doing attendance.
And what does that mean?
It means making sure they have everyone here. You know.
So what do you have to do in the morning to make sure everyone's there?
Well, I gotta check off of my checklist to see if they did their attendance.
Gotcha. Okay, to see if they're there or not.
Yep.
All right. So, Owen, on our show here, we do all kinds of different things, and we talk about different things, and we have news, and we have stories, and we just talk to each other. You want to do some of that with us?
I sure would.
All right, so here's the deal. And I want you to say, so I'm going to tell you what to say, and I need you to say it with enthusiasm. I need you to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for That's the Facts, Matt. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's time.
It's time.
For That's the Fact, Matt.
For That's the Fat Matt.
Yes.
Matt, you're on. That's the best intro we've ever had.
I think we need to record that.
We're gonna lift that one, no doubt.
Yeah.
That will be our intro.
Now, we can either go right into the headlines and news here, or should we play a game with Owen? Should we play fact
I'll
or
let him
fiction?
decide. Would you rather play a game with us, or would you rather hear news stories?
I can tell you about the game if you want to hear about the game first.
Sure, I'd love to hear about the game.
All right, so the game is called Fact or Fiction. So what it really means is true or false. I'm going to say something,
and then
you and Mr. Mickey have to decide whether or not it's true or false, fact or fiction.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, let's try the first one, Matt. I'll let Owen answer first.
All right, you guys tell me here. What do you think? Dolphins have names for each other. Is that true or is that false?
I think it's true.
So you think dolphins call each other? They have names for each other?
Yes.
Matt, I'm going to say true because I think maybe they can communicate in sounds and they can assign a sound to a certain dolphin that dolphin could learn.
All right, you guys are both right. That is a fact.
We're both right,
Yes.
buddy.
Okay.
We're a heck of a team.
Dolphins use unique signature whistles to identify and call one another, similar to names.
We got it, dude.
Good.
We're winning 1-0.
All right,
We're trying to beat Mr. Matt here.
All right, let's do another one here. A goldfish's memory lasts only 3 seconds.
I forgot the question.
I would have to say that is false.
I'm going to go with Owen.
You're going to say false as
No,
well?
3 seconds in a goldfish. I'm going to say true.
All right, Owen wins.
Dang it.
That is true.
You've gotten them both right.
Gold-
He's smarter than me anyway.
He is smart. Goldfish actually have a memory span of months and can recognize patterns, owners, and feeding schedules as well.
That's great.
That is awesome. What else we got, Matt?
Let's see. We can do. Okay, how about this one here? The inventor of the Frisbee was turned into a Frisbee after he died. Is that fact or fiction? Is that true or false?
That is fiction, so it's false.
I'm not even answering. This kid's got.
What do you think, Nick?
I'm going with him.
Believe it or not, Owen, as weird as that is, it is a fact.
How did this happen?
His name is Ed Hedrick, okay?
Okay.
Who helped develop the modern Frisbee, and his ashes were molded into Frisbees as per his request after he passed away.
Wow.
That's kind of
cool.
creepy.
That
Kind of
is
creepy,
pretty
too,
cool.
right?
Yeah, sure is.
All right, I got one more for you guys.
I love it.
We can do as many more as you want, but I will.
Go ahead, let's get to this. Yeah.
Okay. How about a crocodile can stick its tongue out? Is that true or false? Fact or fiction that a crocodile is able to stick its tongue out?
Oh, that is true.
What do you think, Mick?
I really am. I'm going with Owen. I don't know.
That is false, actually. A crocodile's tongue is attached to the bottom of its mouth, making it impossible to stick out.
Wow. I didn't know that. Did you, El?
Me either.
You know what you can do when you see a crocodile now? You can look at the crocodile and go like this. And he can't do it back to you.
I really thought that crocodiles stick their tongues out because when they eat something.
I did too, Owen, but that's why I let you answer it. But
Lizards can stick their tongues out.
Yeah.
You figure that
I never knew a crocodile could,
Snakes
though.
stick their tongues out too.
That's right. Matt, let's do some news, dude. What do we got?
All right. Well, Owen had, I think, the best April Fool's joke that I've ever heard.
It's the best April Fool's. I don't want to do this
Yeah.
show anymore.
So
My heart sank legit, by the way. Like, that was not, I didn't know what to say. And that was the best joke ever, I'm so proud of you.
Well, we'll have to show Owen. We'll have to show you the comments later that
did
people
they love it?
about
I
They
haven't
loved
seen
it.
anything.
They loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, do you know how April Fool's Day, when the first April Fool's Day happened and why it happened? Do you guys have any idea?
So I don't know, and I don't even know how long it's been a thing, to be honest.
For a little while, some historians speculate that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582.
Oh, I was going to say 1586.
Right.
I was so close.
That was when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. And that's when the new year began on April 1st. And the Gregorian calendar would change it to January 1st, which is what we have now.
Yeah.
So people who were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the start of the new year had moved to January and continued to celebrate it during the last week of March through April 1st became the butt of jokes and hoaxes. And they were called April Fools. These pranks included having paper fish placed on their backs and being referred to as some French word that means April fish, which is said to symbolize a young, easily caught fish and a gullible person.
Wow. Now, Owen, do you like playing jokes on people, right?
I sure do. I like to make people laugh.
You do like to make people laugh. And have you ever done, other than me, which is the greatest April Fool's anyone's ever gotten me on, have you ever done any other April Fool's jokes?
Yeah, I did all day at school today.
You did? Like how? Tell me some.
Even when we were in the bathroom together, we were laughing so hard.
Okay. All right, Matt, what else we got, buddy?
All right, well, you were at the stadium yesterday for
Yes.
The Baltimore Orioles home opener.
Yes.
They celebrated their home opener with an 8-5 win over the Boston Red Sox at Camden Yards. Tyler O'Neill had 4 hits in his home run debut for Baltimore, and the Orioles used a pair of big offensive innings to beat the Boston Red Sox yesterday. Baltimore scored 4 runs in the first inning and 4 more in the 8th in its home opener, and no rain either.
Yeah, it was an amazing day. I was down there and walking around, and we saw like so many people, and it was awesome. And then I went to Pratt Street Ale House and hung out with Steve Huber because 100.7 was there. Talked to him and Colleen Carew. That was awesome. Bought a foot-long hot dog, Matt.
Yeah.
Take a guess.
On price?
Yeah.
I mean,
dog.
it had to be super expensive,
Just
right?
take a
Was
stab.
it at the stadium or was it like off the street?
Pratt Street Ale House, which I like. I'm not bad-mouthing them at all, but just it's the fact of the picture.
I'm going to say $12.
How about 17?
17.
Yeah.
Wow.
$17 for a hot dog.
It was a delicious hot dog, though, wasn't it?
It was a hot dog. I will say this, though. I heard the stadium now this year has $4 hot dogs and $4
Really?
sodas. They've done a thing where they're like kind of like, yeah, we got to stop. It's no reason for anybody to have to take out a loan to go to a baseball game,
I stuff them in the wife's purse.
Yeah.
Bring my own hot dogs.
When I was a kid, you used to be able to take coolers.
Yeah, right.
I'm not kidding you.
Right.
Coolers into the stadium.
Memorial Stadium.
Do you know I'm sure other people did it. It was like a 2-gallon cooler
Yeah.
that you could fill up with beer. My uncles put boiling water in it and like 10 hot dogs, and they would cook. They would just cook.
That's
in the
great.
And you'd be at the game, and they had a bag that had rolls in it,
Yeah.
and a thing of mustard. You'd reach in the thing, grab a hot dog. It was incredible.
That was the beginning of tailgating, I guess.
It was before tailgate. This
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
1976 or something like that. Oh, what year were you born?
I was born 2009.
2009. I was almost 15 years old then.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Hey,
Yes.
By the way, about the jokes thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of jokes.
Yes.
When I got to when Grandpa dropped me off at the family reunion after bowling league, I did a knock knock joke. I said knock knock.
Who's there?
And Pop, Miss Jamie, Aunt Bonnie, and Stan said who's there, and I said Justin, and then they said Justin who, and I said I'm just in time for the family reunion.
You're 2 for 2 with the jokes, bro. You got 2. I got none today. You're killing
So
it.
now we've got him for a magic show and a comedy show.
Yeah, you're going to do comedy and magic together in front of our audience, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I have
Owen.
to tell my cousins.
You have to tell everybody. And anybody
Bring all
can come.
13.
Yeah. What's that?
I told him to bring all 13 of them.
Yeah, bring all 13 cousins. By the way, that's just the young cousins. This is one of those families, Matt, you go to a reunion, and it's like in time zones. It's just a meet. It's such a huge family. It's awesome. He can name. I would love for him to do. Nah, I'm not doing that. The family's awesome and huge, and it's his favorite thing in the world. It's
That's
really
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got?
All right, so we got a big story that's kind of resurfaced, but we can go down a rabbit hole with this.
Okay.
Up to you. So,
All right.
CIA documents claim that they
CIA.
have located the Ark of the Covenant.
Wait a minute. For those of you that don't understand what was just said, the Ark of the Covenant is believed to be basically a box made of gold, solid gold. And inside of that covenant are the 10 commandments, the stones. And it is believed that whoever has that has the strength or the power of God himself on earth. It is one of the most, if not the most, sought after treasures on planet Earth. Is there a bigger one? Maybe
I don't
the
know.
Holy Grail? Like, I don't know a bigger treasure other than
That and the Shroud of Turin.
the Shroud of
probably.
Turin. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. So what the CIA documents say about the...
Well, the way they claim to have found the Ark is the most interesting. So I'm going to get to that in
Okay.
a bit.
All right.
But yes, you're correct. The Ark of the Covenant, for people who don't know, is the elaborate container believed to contain the 10 Commandment tablets that Moses had received from God on Mount Sinai. And it's also supposed to be a container of a gold jar of manna, and Aaron's staff are supposed to be located inside of this.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, where did they say in the report, like, where it is? Did they get
well,
to that?
They have an idea of where it is.
Let me guess, it's
so-
in a desert. And it's in a pit full of snakes.
It is in the Middle East, they
course,
believe.
right.
So the whereabouts or the existence of the Ark has never been conclusively confirmed.
You know, there is an entire, in Ethiopia, an entire church that is guarded by monks 24 hours a day. And it has been said that the Ark of the Covenant is housed there. No one is allowed in.
Right.
But the holiest of priests. And they claim, and I mean, documentarians have been there. They've come out and talked to them.
I just heard Graham Hancock talking. Do you know who Graham Hancock is?
Yeah, I do know who Graham Hancock is.
He's a
brilliant.
very controversial
Yeah.
archaeologist,
Yeah.
I guess, or
Yep.
historian. I don't know what his official title is, but he was talking about that.
The Ethiopian connection?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
fascinating,
yeah.
man. It really is. Owen was telling me about it last night.
I sure was.
Searching for the Lost Ark, of course, was the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark from the 80s, starring Harrison Ford. They featured the gruesome depiction of what could happen to people if they touched it, because supposedly if you touch it,
You disintegrate.
you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, anyone that knows me that's ever asked me my favorite movie, the answer to that question is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Is that right?
It is my all-time favorite movie. I'm just such a history buff. I think that's the coolest character in movie history. Love it all. Let me ask Owen a quick question. You like movies, Owen?
Yes, I do.
What's a movie you like to watch a lot?
Oh, I like Monsters Inc.
You love Monsters Inc. What was Do you remember the movie that you didn't want to watch and you finally watched it and you loved it?
Yes. It was Frozen.
I wasn't talking about that one. Do you remember The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember how many times you watched that movie?
Many times when I was at your house.
Yeah.
You love that movie.
I do love that movie. And did you eventually like it?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
I know you did. I love it. You like we should go to the movies soon.
Yeah.
You don't like going to the movies, though, right? Is
I
that
mean,
a hard thing for you?
I mean, one of these days, I think I might give it a try.
Well, whenever you're ready, I would love to go to the movies. Can we go see Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Sure. I guess we could.
I'm kidding.
Or any kind of movie that's on that they have.
You got it, buddy.
You never know what movie is going to be on.
Absolutely.
I need to watch the trilogy again.
It's
of Raiders of the
unbelievable.
Lost Ark.
Yeah, they're great.
Now, as I mentioned, the one of the really interesting parts of this story is how the CIA claims they located the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
These documents were rediscovered, I should say. I think they were released in 2000.
Right.
It's what they call Project Sunstreak. It's an experiment during which an individual who claims to have extrasensory perception, ESP.
You know, I had
Locate-
an Operation Sunstreak one time, Matt.
Did you?
Yeah, I was in Ocean City. I was a little intoxicated. It was about 4 in the morning. And I just started running until the sun came up and realized I didn't have any clothes on. But other than that, let's get back to the story.
Rub a little aloe on it.
Yeah,
You'll be
that's
all right.
all.
So he supposedly purely found this through the power of the mind, more specifically through what they call remote viewing. According to the CIA, remote viewing is a psychic technique in which a viewer transcends time and space to see or perceive people, places, or objects without the viewer being present.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Owen, let me ask you a question. Do you think there's people in the world that can use their brain and see things that they never saw, but they just know what happened? Because that's what he's saying that person can do. Do you even understand what that means?
Yeah. No, I don't know what it means.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about something really hard and tried to figure it out and couldn't?
I don't know. I think so.
All right.
Like
Hey,
if
you
I
know
s-
what? It's
like-
a weird question.
Like if I said
My fault.
I had something in my hand and it's behind my back, can you tell me what it is? And there's supposedly somebody that is able to do that.
They can just tell you what it is without even seeing it.
Oh, you mean like what's in your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to say it's a penny, you know?
A penny?
Let's see what he's got.
well,
What was in
hold
there,
on.
Matt? Let's
Let me
see.
see.
Yeah, let's see what was in his hand real
what's in
quick.
there.
What do you pull out?
It was
It's
a
a
penny.
penny.
It was.
Ellen did it
was-
again.
I knew it!
It was a penny.
That's what magicians do.
That's what magicians do.
I give up.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
By the way, I don't know, I'm just smart. By the way, about my magic show.
Yes.
All 13 of my cousins live in Baltimore except for Olivia because she lives in Florida. But you know what? She's been into Baltimore or before. Like one time I saw her in Baltimore when I was at Aunt Candace's birthday party at Aunt Candace's house.
And by the way, we're all related watching
And,
this show. There's Aunt Candace and
but I
everybody
will still
else.
invite her to my magic show. All she just has to do is take a plane here. That's all.
No big deal. Who isn't going to take a plane to come see Owen do magic? I'd do it tomorrow.
I do it.
Yeah, she would love that.
We're going to do it.
You want to hear how this process worked?
Yeah,
with,
man. I'm fascinated with this.
So there's a retired U.S. Army chief. He said that when a remote viewer is asked to search for a target, the object in question, which was the Ark in the Covenant in this case,
yes.
is written down on a piece of paper and put into an envelope. Then the remote viewer does not know what is written, and he's guided through the process by another person. And what he's saying is that remote viewer number 32, that's what this document says,
Yep.
attained excellent sight contact. It was able to keep AOL, whatever that is, or analytic overlay, to a minimum. Analytic
By the way,
overlay.
I still have AOL email. I don't know if that has anything to do with
which
it.
is crazy.
I do. Anybody at Mickey Comedy at AOL. It's been that for however long AOL's been
Right.
around.
It's just you and my in-laws now. That's it.
There's a couple others.
Yeah. So analytic overlay is the subjective interpretation of the remote viewer's visions. They were able to keep that to a minimum.
Wow.
So this is what supposedly remote viewer number 32 said about this object.
Yeah, let me hear.
They said target is a container This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. And then they said that the target is located somewhere in the Middle East. Individuals in this area were clothed in virtually all white, had black hair and dark eyes. The target is hidden underground, dark and wet, whatever that means.
So you think dark and wet, like? So he's saying like it's buried somewhere?
Yeah, there's more stuff that he apparently said. He said that the container is protected by entities, which is what you were talking about in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
And can only be opened by those who are authorized to do so. This container cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. The purpose of the target is to bring people together. Remember, they have supposedly no idea what is in that envelope.
Right, they had no idea what they were looking for.
It has something to do with ceremony, memory, homage, the resurrection. There is an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond what we now know.
Oh, my God.
Once it is time to open the container, the mechanics of the lock system will be found to be fairly simple. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking are destroyed by the container's protectors through the use of power unknown to us.
I mean, you're basically describing rapture.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. That's end time stuff, right?
And and this is in the CIA's document that is on CIA.gov, I think it is.
Yeah. That's insane, man. What a story. I could talk about this for hours, so I don't want to shelve it, but I want to move it over because we may do a whole show on that, Matt.
All right.
That kind of paranormal, religious, I can't even say the word. Is it histrionic? What word am I looking for? Historical, I think.
Historical,
yeah. Historical, histrionics. That's the word I was looking for. Anyway, I want to do a whole show on that kind of stuff. I'd love to.
All right. Do you remember Virginia Guffrey, who accused convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew of sexual abuse?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
She claims she was given 4 days to live by doctors. In an Instagram post.
When? Like 2 days ago, or?
Yeah, from Sunday, March 30th.
Oh my goodness.
She shared a photo of herself in the hospital covered in bruises, saying she has gone into renal failure. And this is after an accident that she had. She said, "This year's been the worst start to a new year, but I won't bore anyone with the details. But I think it is important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving 110 kilometers, which is about 70 miles per hour, as we were slowing for a turn, that no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be a tin can."
Yeah. And they gave her 4 days to live.
Yeah, they've given me 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology.
Hey, Matt, can I ask a sincere question? If you were given 4 days to live, would you make a social media post? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do. I think I'd do a live video and just do it ran out. Like, I don't. That's weird to me. Like, if somebody told me you have 4 days to live, I mean, I'd
You wouldn't want people to know?
You know, I would want my closest people to know. I wouldn't want to bum everybody. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to take that. How would you guys take that? If you had 4 days left, would you make a social media post? What would you do at that time? I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't spend all my time on social media, but I might post to let people that I know and extended friends and family, right?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Owen, change the subject for a second. What is your favorite TV show? Because you like watching television too.
Oh, I have quite a lot of favorite TV shows.
Tell me what they are.
Oh, there's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Little Einsteins, Special Agent Oso, Handy Manny, Gaspar and Lisa, Guess How Much I Love You, Henry Hugglemonster, Jake and the Netherland Pirates, Sophia the First, Doc McStuffins, Thomas and Friends, Bob the Builder.
Let's talk about
Barney.
Thomas a second, buddy. So when I first was around you, and you were starting to grow up a little bit, around 5 or 6 or whatever, you really started to love your little trains, right? Your Thomas trains.
Yes.
Do you ever know how many the most you had at one time? Did you ever count them?
No, I don't remember. I had a lot.
For everybody out there, do you remember those milk crates that you put like 4 gallons in? Like milk crates. Those things? Matt, he had, I think 3 of them full of Thomas and Friends train things, and he could look at any of them, tell you the name, who their friends were, who it. Do you remember?
My daughter had something similar, but yeah, I kind of went through some of that with her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I remember one day. Do you remember the day you lined them all up, and then you had them in order, and I moved them, and you walked in the room, and you knew I moved them? Do you remember
Yeah,
that,
I do remember that.
Matt? When I tell you there was 75 to 100 things lined up in order, like rows. And he walked out of the room, and I took one out of one line and moved it and put that one in this line. And he wasn't he wasn't in the room 4 seconds. And he looked at his trains and he went, "You moved Percy," or whatever his name was, with Henry. And I was like, I remember that was the first day that it ever dawned on me, like, how unique and special his mind is. It was fascinating.
That is cool.
You like things to be in order, right?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
You've gotten so much. Like, that's the thing. I wish. Can I have a second here, Matt?
Yeah.
Because it brought something up. For people that don't really understand the autism thing, and I am no expert, trust me, just been around Owen and learned from this. There are times where there are absolutes. Things have to be a certain way. And you learn there are battles you pick and choose what you're going to deal with. Owen, over the years, had many things that were not easy for other people to accommodate. And I've learned why, not why, but how important it is to Owen to have things like that. But the thing that has amazed me more than anything is watching someone and realizing, okay, they are unique, they're different, they do things a certain way, and I have to accommodate that to make it easier for them. And you'd think that'd be the end of it. You'd make the sacrifice, Matt, and you move on. The real sacrifice has been made by this guy. It's unbelievable the amount of work he has done. And I'm not saying this. He says it. It's like he'll say things like, well, can I do an impression of you, Owen? Can I sound like you for a second?
Sure, if you can try.
I can try. I won't do it as good, though, will I?
Just try.
All right. He has looked at me and he said, Mr. Mickey, we need to do this right now. And it was serious. And it wasn't, the world wasn't going to end if we didn't, but his was. And I'll just go, okay. And then later he would go, Mr. Mickey, I want to do this right now. And I would say, can we wait a little bit, Owen? And if I used to say that, he'd go, no. And now he will go, no problem, Mr. Mickey. Let me know when you're ready. And you're just like, so I want to ask you, Owen, how were you able to do that with autism? I can't do it without it. I get set in my ways. That's it. It's incredible. How did you? Can you explain what that's like?
Well, I just stopped all this rude stuff I do because I've learned my lesson.
You've learned what lesson?
That it's not very nice to talk like that.
Very good, Owen. And it's just amazing. I mean, for those people that have people in their lives with autism, you understand the first part I'm talking about, which is the basically my way or the highway at times. To see someone like Owen make the strides he's made, the efforts he's made, and all that. Owen, because this is important too. Who are the people along the way? And don't leave me out of this. I have nothing to do with this.
There's no sound.
No sound anywhere?
Yeah, no. Did you switch something on the board, the mixer?
I don't believe I did. I may have hit something. I don't know what I would have hit. We're still on air. Sound issues, everybody. If you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't remember hitting anything. All right, out to here. It would be this. Check the connection in the back. Matt, these two cables right there. I apologize, everyone. I don't know what happened here. Again, it could have just been Matt's headphones. Is it me personally? There's no sound. Hey, can you go online and see if you hear anything right now? Thank you. There's some people here hanging out. I think people are calling me to tell me. I don't know how we would have lost it. Matt, can you go in and make a comment right now? Sorry, guys, trying to fix the sound. Um, I don't know if we should stay on or not in case it is. Is it coming through at all? Fuzzy. Okay. Let me try to fix something. All right. It's probably a connection between here and the switcher. Can you hear it? Or are we? Is it the stuff? Yeah, bring that over for a second. Sorry, everybody. It's live. And our budget is not very much. Volume went way down. Um, I don't know. There's no sound right now. Um, yeah, I may have hit a button. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can hear everything, but I don't know how we would have lost it to the board. Because these mics go straight in to that, to this, and then this goes straight from here to there. I don't think. Is that the main? 1, 2? I may have hit the main. Everybody, let me know if that's if we're back. Are we back? I apologize, everyone. I hit something by mistake. We have it fixed. So, Owen, where were we talking about, Owen? That just, the different things you've learned to do along the way that you didn't like to do. Like, do you remember, like, tying your shoes?
I was not very good at tying my shoes when I was little, but look at me now. I'm great at it.
So you are great at tying your shoes.
Yep.
Who's helped you along the way with things you didn't like originally, you didn't want to do? Who's helped you teach, or who's taught you to accommodate those types of things and how to make changes?
Oh, Miss Megan and Miss Lindsay.
Now these were all people that were like therapists and people at school and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and Dr. Wexler and Dr. Williams. And some of my helpers at school, like Miss Bloom, my social worker, and Miss Waska, my speech teacher.
You know who helped you, I think, a lot too? Mom.
Yeah.
Mom helped a lot, didn't she?
And Miss McCarty, my OT teacher.
Enough about Mom. We'll talk about her later. But your mom did an amazing job, buddy. And
Yeah.
all those people you've named are heroes because I've seen it firsthand. And you're an amazing guy. And I just love being with you, man. I just love hearing about you.
Me too.
You like hearing about you? Because we have two things in common, and I like hearing about me. More about me, Matt. What's next?
Have you ever wanted to live on an island?
So Hart Miller,
like a private island.
Oh yeah, like a nice one.
Yeah, like a private island.
I thought you meant like Middle River, that one right off Middle River, whatever.
Well, there is. There's a private island in Maryland that's up for sale right now.
How much is it?
Let's see the price. It's going for I think it's 2.6. No, I'm sorry, $3.4 million.
Does that include a dwelling, or is it just the island?
It includes a big house.
Really?
Yeah, it's Dobbins Island up for sale.
Dobbins. Isn't that like towards the south of the bay, past the Bay Bridge?
It sits on 7 acres along Maryland's Magathie River, leading out to the Chesapeake Bay. A 4,000 plus square foot custom home built in 2019. Stands atop with a 360 degree panoramic view of the water and Bay Bridge.
How'd you like to be there hurricane season and a bad one comes through?
Well,
I guess it depends.
It would freak me out a little bit. It's not that far from shore, and just I don't know. What about when Butchie and his boat come up there and want to park near your house, man, at night?
Hey, man, you mind if I hook up to your back porch real quick? I got to check the tranny on this son bitch. Ain't working at all. That would be hilarious.
I got a 30 pack of Bud Light, man. You mind if we camp out on your front lawn tonight?
You know, if you owned that island, you would wake up some mornings and some dude would just be tied off to something on it. Right. And he'd just look at you and be like, my bad, dude. Sorry. Broken down. Oh, and do you like boats?
I do love boats.
You like being on
My
the boat?
great-grandfather used to have a boat.
Your great-grandfather did?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. I like boats, too. I
yeah,
really do.
I think when I grow up, I might get a boat of my own.
Yeah?
Yep.
What, you going to be the captain?
Yeah.
Did you just turn us down again?
A tiny bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, it's just crazy right now, the thing.
Oh.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Oh, it's
we
all
good?
Yeah.
All right.
And
We got any more? Are we good, Matt?
Well, We can either get into some music stuff, or we can talk about.
You know what? I'll tell you what, Matt. Let's hold. I'm going to wrap this show up, but I want to talk to Owen a little more.
Okay, sounds
You good with that?
I'm good.
All right,
that
man.
Is the fact, Matt?
Matt. Good job. Give Matt a round of applause, Owen. Thanks,
Yay,
Matt.
Matt!
Thank you, Owen.
You're very welcome.
So, Owen, there's some things that I just think I want to close the show with because autism is a very, very new thing for the masses. It has been around a long time, but the public is really starting to see more people like yourself with autism, and people are learning rapidly about autism.
Yeah.
And I want you to just I'm going to ask you some questions. You can yes or no, or if you want to explain it more, please do. Do big crowds bother you?
Well, maybe a little bit, but sometimes I just get used to it.
Very good. What about when people, like, if I was to touch you like that, is that okay?
I mean, sometimes, but not when I'm doing things that I need to focus.
And one of the things you still do sometimes, not you used to do it all the time. I believe, is it stemming or stimming, where like you would do with like your hands and stuff?
Oh, I do stim a lot.
Explain what that is, if you can.
It's when you're excited about something, when you're imagining something.
And you do stuff with your hands, right?
Yes.
And when you're doing that, is the touching of your hands like a sensation that makes you feel better?
Yeah, sort of.
Can you explain it a little bit, or is it too hard?
I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of hard.
Does when you're pushing your hands together like that, or sometimes I know you'll do this, right? Like
Yeah.
that. Is it like a pressure thing, like you're just trying hard to push and it makes your body feel good?
Yeah.
Is that it? I'm not telling you.
I mean, it makes my body feel excited, I guess.
Excited.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you do that and you like hugs too, right? You like pressure.
Yeah, I do love pressure.
And sometimes you've said, like, if you've been laying on the couch, you'll say, you know, Mom, can you lay on me, or give me, lay on top of me. And then Mom bought you like a blanket that was really heavy. I had no idea. Have you ever seen a weighted blanket, Matt?
Yeah, it helps me sleep too. I love.
You
that.
have a weighted
Yeah,
blanket?
I don't have one. I've used
Listen
one
to
before.
me. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you have autism and you haven't told me yet, I'm going to be so mad, because that would be a bonus.
I might. I don't know.
You've used it?
I have. Yeah.
And so when people hug, you've asked me sometimes for hugs.
Yes.
It makes your body feel good.
It does make my body feel good and calm and happy.
And and are there other things that you wish other people knew that could make your life like easier?
Well, not really.
I know some of these questions, I'm not wording them right. You really are kind of just like your own guy. You got some things that are different, and you've matured so much, Owen, so much. And I look so forward to seeing the rest of the journey for you. You're an incredible man.
Why, thank you.
Why, you're welcome. One other thing I want to talk about, you were talking about your TV shows. And sometimes you memorize those shows, and then even when you meet people, you will talk and you'll just recite what they said on TV, right?
Yes.
TV talk?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you do that? Because you know that most of the time, most people don't know what you're talking about. But is it a way for you that you feel comfortable and it allows you to talk to people?
I don't know how to explain it.
What's it called? When you do that?
It's called scripting when I do TV talk.
Scripting. And that is where you've learned something from technically a script, whether it's television or you've read it or you saw it, and you memorize it and you like it and you understand it. So you say that, but you say the whole thing. For instance, why don't you tell me about the clangers, right? The clangers. Tell me how you always talk about them. Who am I?
Whoa.
You're major clanger.
Wait a minute.
I can't believe you guys know the Clangers.
What? I'm Major Clanger.
My daughter was Granny Clanger.
Are you serious?
I swear. I swear.
Wow.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when she was really young, we were at the pool, and some adult came over and asked her what her name was, and she told them that she
Granny
was
Clanger?
She was Granny Clanger.
So who am I?
You're major clanger.
Who's mom?
She's mother clanger.
She's a mother clanger, all right. And who are you?
I'm small clanger.
Small clanger. And then who else are there on that show?
There's tiny clanger.
You sure that's not me? You sure I'm not?
And there's the soup dragon with baby soup dragon, and there's also the iron chicken.
Right, who can fly, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, if I could just talk to the audience for a second. You need to understand something, if you don't. These shows are typically, I would say, I don't know the right ages, but much younger, toddler, so to speak. It is fascinating to him, and he loves them. And I'll be honest with you, I think some of those shows have helped greatly. I think a lot of those shows have helped Owen understand how to interact. He's taught me things. You shouldn't do that, Mr. Mickey. And I'll say, why? And he'll tell me, and I go, yes, sir. Like, it's really amazing. And then I've heard people, not in with him, other things are like, oh, I can't stand my child. All they do is talk this. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you understood it and you really realized the benefit that could come from it, it could be an amazing thing. So when you talk in your scripted language, or is it scripted language? Is that how you say it? Scripted language. Do you feel comfortable doing that?
I mean, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. It just makes me excited. You know?
You like telling people about things you like.
When I hear it from things that get stuck in my head, you know.
So that's another good point. Sometimes things get stuck in your head, and you have to see it all the way through. And let me tell you an example that you had that I've been around. What time is bedtime?
It's 9:15.
And what time do you get in the shower every night?
9:15.
And I'll bet you in the last 2 or 3 long times, no one has to tell you, do they?
No one does.
Matt, I'm not kidding when I say this. You can set a clock to the routines. 9:15, shower. 9:25, mom, routine, prayers. You say prayers every night with mom, right?
Yes.
And you tell everybody, or you pray about, you bless all the people in your family, and then you tell mom to get out of the room, and then you go to sleep every
Yeah.
night, right?
But I always give mom a hug before I go to bed.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Of course you do. And you don't like going to sleep unless you give mom a hug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've learned over these years that you just, you like things a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you want to change them, you change them.
Sure thing.
Got a joke you want to end with?
Um.
Or a story you want to tell us? Anything you want.
A joke. Let's see. What kind of joke is there? What did Mr. Perkins say to Archie? Archie, leave that alone.
Now that is a TV show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's scripted language, right?
Yeah.
And when you heard that, it made you laugh.
Yeah.
So then you tell other people that because you think it's going to make them laugh.
Oh.
Is that right?
I thought all jokes make people laugh.
They do. You do a good job, Owen.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this today?
I sure did.
Would you like to do it again?
I sure would.
Owen, I want to tell you something. You're an amazing man. You're a joy to watch. You have been an absolute wonderful human being to be around. I love you very much, and I can't wait to watch you and what you're going to become. And let me tell you something. If you told me whatever it is you want to do when you get older, I would not doubt it for a second, other than if you told me you were going to be boring, because you'll never be boring, my friend.
Yeah, I'm never boring.
Oh, that's for sure.
Everyone loves me.
Look into that camera and say anything you want and say goodbye to everybody. Anything you want to tell everybody in the whole world. Say something.
Well, it's a goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for coming to my show. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.